Welcome everybody to another episode of the Crime Alley podcast. It's the same vibe, but the faces are different. And we got Costly here, and we all know who Costly is. He says hello there. And then the new face with the purple border, Mr. Zubaz himself. Zubaz, what's up?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And a surprise guest. His camera, just like on his stream, is hidden somewhere on the screen. So comment below if you can see where his camera's hidden. It's this dojo, the leader of the dojo, the Siege Sensei himself, M4.
You forgot Tournament of Legend champion.
I was testing you. I wanted to see if you were going to accept my introduction of you and clarify that you are now the new Tournament of Legends champion. So I'm proud of you, M4.
Apparently, it's the biggest thing in DC Legends right now. So
and
I get to hang on to it for 3 months. So
yeah, and then you're gonna defend your title.
No. We'll get to that. We'll get to it.
All right. So we got a lot on our plate today. It's been a while since our last pod. When did we do it last, Costly?
Like 3 weeks ago. Real quick, let's get out in front of something real quick, just so that we establish for everybody. As you can see, Du Bois not here. And I do want to confirm, yes, we did get rid of him for his disgusting opinions on Zod and Ultraman. So I just didn't want anybody to be wondering throughout the whole episode or anything. No, Du Bois just couldn't make it tonight, and Zubaz filled in for him. And
well, Zubaz is like the new the go-to guest on streams and everything,
I can guarantee that you're going to have better ratings. Basically, everywhere I go, the ratings just blow up. So
I believe it.
This might be a permanent replacement, is what I'm saying.
I believe it. So it's been a while since we did our last podcast, and I guess a lot has happened. I would say, new toons are out. We've seen the toons in action. When we talked the last, did we know Eradicator and Steel were coming, or was that even?
No, yeah. They had come out, but we had like very early opinions on Steel. It's like nobody even had him past like L1.
Oh, that's right.
At that point, and like none of us really knew anything about Eradicator.
Yeah.
And then Du Bois had the very, very bad opinions on Zod and Ultraman.
Oh yes, I remember now.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
And how could I forget? I try to block it out of my head. Remember he was talking about he didn't bring up Bleeze when obviously he did. All right, we're gonna go down that rabbit hole again. Well, let's just jump right into it. I guess we're gonna talk about Eradicator. Now he's the new toon, and safe to say he was of the new toons, he was the better of the two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So who here has Eradicator?
I just barely brought him up. He's L4 gear 11 for me right now.
I have my hand raised.
I did not bring up Eradicator.
I have my hand raised in case you didn't see Josh.
Oh, I saw. I know where your camera is. So, so I don't have Eradicator. I didn't gear him up at all. Not that I have anything against Eradicator. I think he's a pretty good toon. All the reports and things I'm hearing from him is that he's a solid toon. He does his job well. He performed really well in the raids, and we'll talk about that later. But I just didn't bring him up. I'm getting kind of picky, getting pickier on my toons. But what do you think of him so far, Costly?
So I brought him up today and just barely started playing with him today. Like I maybe have 5 matches under my belt.
Okay.
And so far my account feels exactly the same as it did before I brought him up. So
yeah.
That's kind of like we're getting to a spot in the game now where it's like you got to really have reasons to bring people up now because most bases are covered,
Yeah.
And he does have a nice, like on his Sue, he can, on whatever the target he hits everybody with the attack, but whoever he hits, he removes all their buffs. So like that's really nice and everything. And then the remove all positive awareness or not immunities on the 3 is nice. Like he's got some cool stuff. Like the passive shields to teammates is good with the stamina ups. Like I don't regret taking him up, but I also don't see where he's not like shining in my roster yet. Okay. But again, I've only played like 5 to 10 matches. So
what about you, Zubaz?
I mean, so I did not take him up. I
Oh, I thought you did.
can really only speak to him on defense so
Okay.
far, and what I would say is like he does not scare me if I see him on the enemy team right now.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a ton of him, so my inclination is that not that many people brought him up.
I kind of feel that way too. I don't know how many people were like dying to gear him up. You know, there's every now and then there's that tune where after they debut, just everyone has to have him. Like I think Spectre is going to be something like that. But M4, I'm assuming you have Eradicator and you've been, you know, taking him through his paces. What do you think?
I do have him L5 after I had him L3 when he was sold, and then as soon as Siege was over, took him L5. And for a little bit, like a few days, literally 4 days, he was one of the better purge all because of that AoE purge everything. And then come Wednesday, someone decided that, you know what, your reign is over. There's someone who's just gonna purge everything for free. Just get a kill, or anyone gets a kill. Someone's gonna get purged, everything. So he's kind of like more of an afterthought right now. I mean, he's not a bad tune, don't get me wrong. It's just that when Spectre came out, like Eradicator who?
Yeah, it's so. I feel like this game is every month like that tune comes out and everyone's like really pumped up on them. You know, oh, this tune can do this. Like I'm just immediately thinking of Barda. Like look at Barda, everyone wants Barda. She's a great tank. Boom, Zod comes out. All right, you know Zod's here and Zod can do heavy damage to Barda, take him out. And now it just seems like Eradicator came out and he's cool. He has a cool thing, and then boom, Spectre comes out. And now, kind of, it just everyone gets pumped when they're there, and then the next month the new tune comes out. That it just really seems like
Earlier this year, they did Dove, who was incredible. They do the Harley rework, and then right after Terra and Starfire.
Yeah, like can't miss. Like, it's just it makes it feel like you almost just, and this is kind of why I felt like holding off on Eradicator myself is like I want to give it a couple months to see what's going on before I start dumping into them, because it's just like God, every single month it's just something new. But like so Eradicator, he's more like he can bop, right? Like he can drop some bombs on people.
He's awesome in raids because of the double basic. Use him with
for this
like
last raid,
a Dark Side or Hippolyta, and you get like 4 punches in, and he's a 5x tune, so he's gonna be.
I heard he was doing real good. I heard he was doing.
Yeah, see, I had him at Gear 0 during raids, so I didn't bring him up until after.
Yeah. Also out there, if you're a player, just all you need is Dark Side, Lois, and Hippo. Don't gear. I see so many times I just when I'm streaming or something or I'm talking to someone, they're just like, oh, who should I gear up for raids? I'm like, just why? You know the answer.
We'll get there, but there's going to be a fourth tune that you're going to want to
okay.
I very soon.
But that was
has been
Eradicator.
Sparky every month, Josh. Literally, because so Sparky Solid, he's in our alliance with us, but like he's one of my good friends, and he literally just every month will be in a chat and he's like, so who are you using for your for raid? Dark Side and Superwoman. And then he's like, who? And then like later on he'll be like, so who are you using? Dark Side and Superwoman.
Yeah.
I had to bring in Hippolyta so that I didn't glitch.
Yeah.
Like like it's just
it's something. It's getting to be something with this game. I don't know. Speaking of people that are something, that's Steel. He's something. Like he is something. The WRL podcast came out not that long ago, and I just listened to the tier list today. I think I know I talked about the tier list on my stream today, and I believe M4 went over it a little bit on his. I may have missed that or not, but Steel got a B.
Courtesy of hate mail.
Courtesy of hate mail, I guess. So.
What?
I
haven't seen the what?
Yeah.
How is he not in the trash can? Like,
so I looked at the tier list breakdown, and only 2 people rated him.
Yeah.
And one was B and one was C, and so I guess it like defaults to the higher one. I don't know if you can
No, it defaults to whatever hate mail thinks is the right
Oh, okay,
score.
even better. So yeah, so I think it was like a soft B.
Like, isn't that a sign though? Like, if half the group doesn't gear him up. I mean, I know at that level they're gonna need their slow gears, and they're forced to slow gear certain tunes. But I don't know, when the character's worth it, you just do it. And Steel,
Wish I
like,
would have kept him for a slow gear. I really wish I would have kept him for a slow gear.
you didn't wait. You geared him
No,
up. Oh,
he's gear 11 for me. He's level 80. He's
What
L5.
wait. How did that happen?
I took him up like day one
Just because.
because I do that to every character.
But then
I have two slow gears right now. I have a Mazo and Batman Who Laughs for my slow gears.
Okay, so
Batman Who Laughs is gear 7 right now. Mazo's gear 6.
it's only a few more days. That's how many was it? 6 gears a day, and you have what, 5? So I guess that's 30 days. Yeah, that's a month.
Wait, actually, Mazo might be lower than that.
That's fine. You got time. So okay, you had your slow gears then. Yeah, I didn't bring him up. I was watching. I know Rundown did a siege push this siege or that last siege, and he was he's kind of big on Steel, but I think he recognizes Steel's not this like game changer, but he can do well when you know what to do with him and you throw him in the right comp, and I guess he's a really good utility tune to shields, but again, there's a new character out there that hits under shields real good, and it's just like I don't know. Like, I mean, Zubaz, do you have him geared up?
Absolutely not. And similar to what I said about Eradicator, I don't think I've seen a single steal in PvP in any format, and that includes like his Alliance week. I don't think I saw a steal.
I didn't feel. I did a bunch of matches today, like the 27 matches, just to get him out of the way, and just again, Azrael, Harley, Black Flash. I'm seeing that all the time now. But Costi, I do want to ask you more about Steel because I'm going to ask M4 as well. But what are you thinking of Steel, Costi? Who do you use him with? Tell me, give me the skinny on him.
I haven't used him.
Oh my god.
No, he's just sitting in my hero list at L5 level 80.
Did you use him in the siege at all?
No.
No.
Not even once. I don't even think I used him once.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Obviously didn't use him in raids.
Yeah. All right, M4.
Like quite literally when I told M4 in his stream earlier that I was going to go play with Eradicator a little bit so I could form an opinion, I was thinking about playing with Steel, and I still just didn't.
I don't think we think he's trash, but what does he do? M4, what does Steel do?
Half of the time he's going to stun someone out of the gates.
Yeah,
if they made that 100%, I may have geared. I may have geared him. Yeah.
Man, that was 100% stun. Or what if it was like 100% stun, ignore immunities? Like, ooh. That would have been.
He's gonna do that anyway if he's on your side.
Oh, that's true because his stun will go down before the. Oh, that's right.
Look, they wouldn't be that reckless with stun. Okay.
Yeah, right.
They would never do that to a character. Right? They would never just give a character an opportunity to just stun all over the place.
No, but imagine this. They're gonna play volleyball with it if you have Enchantress. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, they would just pass it back and forth. That would be cool.
Yeah, that to me would be so cool for like that would be huge, if you could like. Do you think they'll ever introduce a turn 0 move? I guess it wouldn't be a turn 0 move then, where you can select the character.
Then it's not turn. It's not.
I guess it's not turn 0 then, right? Like I don't.
Turn zeros will always be random.
I guess, but why? I mean, I don't know why.
No, it's not random, Costly. I heard it goes to the fastest tune. I heard that somewhere, and that source is reliable. He's always right.
So yeah, Steel does have the 50% chance at the start of the match to do a random stun on someone, which again is nice, but it's true that if it was 100, it'd be significantly better.
You would all have him geared for sure.
Yeah, I think so. But M4, what do you like? So, I mean, using him, what do you think? Have you been using him? Did you use him at all in Siege at any point?
He's gear 1.
Okay, so what do you? So no one has stealed it. All right, so
Look, I here's my review of Steel. I was using him on my little like alt free to play that I had that I stopped playing because I got overwhelmed with work. But when I was playing it, he was nice to like stun people. Like
yeah,
he was stunning decently, and he could also help with the buff immunity. Like that was nice.
yeah, and I do think a lot of the time we forget that these characters play completely different in earlier stages when you don't have them all, you're not dealing with L5s and all that, and also when you don't have a full roster of, oh, why would you bring Steel when you can bring XYZ? Well, a lot of players don't have XYZ, and so that's where you can see some of those characters. I wish I knew, like, I don't know, Kasi, you had the ult, you're supposed to be giving us the
Yeah, and then I got really busy with work.
I guess.
And
wait, but how many Raid Shadow Legends accounts do you have?
I still only have 2.
Oh, okay.
I've actually cut back on the other 2 that I was playing. I give them back to their owners.
Ooh, okay.
So,
I mean, I guess that's it for them. Like, these are just, they were fine. Like, again, like, I think Eradicator of the 2 was the one that, he can do some stuff. He can, well, I guess he could do stuff for about a month because we got new characters out. Should we talk about those characters now or jump to raids?
we can talk about those characters now if you have the thing ready.
Yeah, I think that's right
just my real quick, I just want to say, do you guys remember when it was only like a 30% chance for a character to stun?
Yeah.
That was.
It's
kind of miss that time now.
So, because I genuinely feel like the devs, I don't know what's going on, and I said we joked that that hate mail was the one, like,
I think he took over
the guiding hand.
Hate mail's running WB San Francisco.
and
he's just not telling anybody.
I don't know, like, it's just so many stuns. But I mean, if you don't know who we're talking about, it's the new kid on the block, the new rework that's wowing everyone. That's Spectre. Zubaz, what do you think?
He's incredible. One of the things that I've been saying is his kit now matches the lore of Spectre, basically. Spectre is this omnipotent, spirit of wrath, the vengeance, one of the biggest entities in the universe. And then finally in the game, it matches that, where he can just wave his hand and wipe an entire slate clean, pretty much. So it's, they didn't even adjust his power. They just made his kit insane, which was, big change for him.
What was he doing before that? Like, because I mean, I always thought Spectre was like Garbo, and now.
So he was okay before, and it was interesting. I went back and I looked, and I was one of the first people that bought Spectre when he was released the first time. It was Spectre and Eclipso came out at the same time. I was really excited for both of them, and I posted a bunch of videos about how he was utter trash. And that was because this was before his like little quick fix. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, but when Spectre debuted, he was doing physical damage on his basic and then special damage on the rest of his stuff. And so his basic was hitting for like nothing. It would basically, it could clear an awareness, and that was it. And there was like community outrage, and they changed it and they made it special damage on his basics so that he actually benefited from the intelligence ups. But then that was about it. His AoE always hit pretty hard, and it always had that heal immunity, which was really good, especially when you were dealing with a Cersei or a White Lantern Sinestro or something like that.
Was it an AoE heal immunity?
It was always AoE heal immunity, and at the time that was pretty rare. Since then we've got a lot of that kind of floating around, where even Huntress by herself can now handle a team like that. But he was doing that on his own, was pretty rare. The huge benefit for what Spectre used to do, his 2 skill was a purge, and it did not do any damage, and it also wouldn't miss. So you could actually use his 2 on Harley, for instance. If he wasn't enraged, you could use his 2. He would purge a bunch of buffs, and that would be it. It wouldn't do any damage, it wouldn't change anything, but you could purge most of her stuff and then get a on with the rest of the match. So
he sounds good.
Use.
Like, I don't know, he sounded good then.
He was pretty decent. He was middle class. You might, on the right team, especially under like Lex, where he's gaining a lot of intelligence ups, you could pair him with the right tune, he could do a lot of damage. And
you also got to place him. You got to place him where he was too, and where the meta was at the time. That was around the time that we had like Kaga and Cersei everywhere. Well, Cersei wasn't out yet, but you know what I mean. Like that style. That's where the meta was the turn meter down right off the bat.
Yeah.
Like turn meter down the enemy team, turn meter down. Like
yeah, and there was no middle ground between what they did and what they gave us for the rework, apparently.
Yeah.
I've said since the rework, the biggest thing, he has permanent intelligence ups that he gains on his basic. And I think we're at a point now where permanent buffs are like the only good buffs. That's what Superwoman has. Like, that's what Larfleeze has. That is what Spectre has now. And it just changes everything in terms of what you're doing.
And then those permanent buffs are, one of the reasons why Superwoman's so good in raids, why Larfleeze is so good in wave PvP PvE matches, and I think what we were kind of alluding to earlier is that's what Spectre might become for raids. Like, he's going to be hitting so hard with, especially paired to Darkseid. I mean, is that going to be the new combo? Darkseid, Superwoman. I mean, I guess you would pick. Would it be between Superwoman or Spectre you'd run?
Yeah, I guess you would kind of have to pick, because something I ran into this. We'll talk more about it when we get to the raid section. But when I brought in, like, I have an RB4 Huntress, so like when I brought her in for this, it almost kind of weighed my damage down because Superwoman wasn't going as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
Yeah,
so you would have to pick between the two of them probably.
But M4. So what are you thinking about Spectre? Because I know you did some siege matches today, and you're now running into the Spectres now, right? Your bots are gone. So how are you?
Almost.
Almost done?
I'm gonna point out about something about Spectre.
Okay.
Superwoman good with PvE raids, but Spectre might be the toon that is good in any mode in DC Legends, whether it's raid. I bet he's going to kill it in the Nightmare challenge. Trademark the boy. And then obviously he's also good in raid and siege, so he's gonna kill it wherever he goes. And you all know I like him because I took him RB4.
Yeah.
He's bugged, but even if they don't fix him, I am perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, he's bugged, and I've talked about this before, how I'm like just upset about it this month with Siege, and his bug is, the main bugs are what he can do his move when he's stunned. His 2 acts like an attack when it's not supposed to, and
stuns dead toons.
Yeah, he stuns dead toons, and also and I don't know if this is a bug or not. It's if you kill someone on their team, their
whoever
Spectre goes
side
first. Yeah,
gets death, their Spectre goes nuts first.
Now do you think that's a bug?
It may not be.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bug, and here's my only. I think I'm giving DCL way too much credit here, but if he is the Spirit of Vengeance, it makes sense that the team who's just had a death is getting vengeance first, basically.
That makes sense.
But I can't imagine that was really going through their head as they were coding it. So, but that's how I justified it.
How can you avenge someone when you're the one doing the killing, Zubaz?
Carefully.
I think even if it
violently.
He is a very violent. If you read his comics before, he is easily one of the most violent characters that they've ever had in DC. It's incredible. The Ostrander run from the 80s, where he enacts these, it's very monkey's paw-esque in the punishment that he gives out. and he's now bringing that level of violence to DC Legends.
I know this rework is just outrageous. It's almost as outrageous as the boys' take on Ultraman. I mean, it's that level of crazy.
Every time M4 sees a shot open, he takes it. But I was gonna say, even if that is a bug, I have a feeling that if they were to fix the other bugs, and if it is a bug, they may not fix that one because
The easiest one to fix is the two.
The two.
Should not cause any damage.
yeah, that's huge because that triggers Azrael, that triggers Arcus, that triggers whoever else gets triggered off attacks or whatever. Harley,
It triggers
I guess.
me. It triggers me when
you.
it.
To me,
when it
what
misses.
I find so annoying is the if Spectre is stunned, if you stun the enemy team, like you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna kill someone, let me stun their Spectre first, to get things in check, and then you do it, and he just goes regardless of the stun. That just I can't stand that.
Oh, the theory on that is, well, when Zubaz and I was covering his rework on Wednesday, because he has a passive where he purchases debuffs, and the theory is he thinks he's taking a turn, so he's like, oh, hey, I just took a turn, I'm gonna do an active move, let me purge this debuff and then do my thing.
But is the stun purged, or is that like, because I've seen the stun logo on him while he's doing
Yeah.
the thing?
Right.
Well, here's the downside. Like, if they were to fix it to where he doesn't do that, there then will be a situation where you kill somebody in the other team, and then you're like, say if you stun their Spectre, you kill somebody in the other team, their Spectre goes first, stuns yours, then like, well, actually, if he's stunned already, then he wouldn't go. So yeah.
No, but he
I don't know.
would. If you kill someone on their team, their Spectre goes first and could stun your Spectre, and then you're like SOL.
Yeah.
Let me ask this M4. Like, he doesn't strike me. I guess because he's so overpowered and he's so good, and that's why you like him. But he creates like utter chaos, and you
I hate
function
it.
well in a world where you're like, what's going to happen here. So I don't know, how are you justifying that?
All right. So I did mention this earlier that I hate the chaos that ensues when something happened, but at RB4, there's no chaos, just destruction.
Okay,
He
all right.
he thinks he's Black Adam when he goes. He just destroys everyone when he gets those when he uses his AoE and has that int stack up. So
Yeah, he's hitting so freaking hard. Like, I have him L5, and like, I mean, his AoE's pop, so I can't imagine how much damage he's doing at RB4 right now. But it's just his basic pops, like it hits under the shield, it hits really hard. The AoE just is massive. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what to just how good he is right now. Like, he's crazy. Like, I think he's gonna just auto S tier is what's gonna happen.
he probably will be.
I mean, I'm very strict about who I rebirth, right? Like, they have to be within my theme. Even if they're meta, like, and I'm considering rebirthing Spectre, who the only way I can fit him into my team is just the connection to Batman.
That's all you need. That's it.
Quite literally it. Like, that's it.
We're good.
And so,
I do have a question for you guys. So we
Okay.
are all in agreement he's gonna be S tier. But my
You
thought
believe in
is,
tiers, but sure.
all right, let's just say he's top shelf, if you don't want to use the word tier, okay? But I still don't think he's the best toon in the game.
Yeah, well, he's not Arcus.
He's not Enchantress. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But no, I agree. Right.
Yeah.
We're settled. He's not the best toon in the game.
Yeah.
As crazy as his rework is, he's
I
still
will
not
definitely be taking him RB5 for sure. I think everybody has fingers crossed that he's going to be the 6th day next month.
do you guys think he's going to get it?
I think he's going to get, because I could have sworn Stargirl got a 6th day not that long ago. Like, I don't
He
know.
did. It was November of last year.
So,
Yeah,
But-
but WB has shown their smarts before in not letting an OP toon just run rampant, though, too.
But
Like,
think of it.
I mean,
Kota
Azrael.
had a
Azrael took
Kota.
forever to get a sale.
Kota got the 6-day.
Besides his
6
initial
day.
sales.
Zod got a 6-day. Like
6 days are for reworks. That's the thing. Like Azrael, Black Flash, they were not.
They will
reworks.
not. Yeah, it's gonna take a while for them.
Yeah,
to get
Barda
there.
got the 6-day. Yeah, no, it's gonna be
I just
Spectre.
I really
It's
I
gonna
think
be
it's gonna be
Spectre.
Spectre. I really do, which is nice. I'll farm him up. I'll probably I don't know how to farm him to, but yeah, he's
But
gonna be nice.
I mean, if it ends up being a Stargirl, that's still not bad. If you wanna
Stargirl's
move on
not
to Stargirl,
bad.
like
Yeah.
she's good.
Stargirl's not
I'm liking
bad. I'm liking her now. I mean, significantly improved from where she was. I love running her with Lex, and the reason why I love running her with, I mean, who don't I like running with Lex? But I love running her with Lex because I took Lex and Stargirl, and I had a couple, I think Spectre and someone else up against Manhunter Black Flashes. And what ends up happening is my Stargirl is allowed to go at some point because she gets turn meter when I think anyone on your side gets attacked by a
when
buff
someone on the other side buffs.
Oh, when they buff?
Right.
Yeah, so boom.
Same as like Darkseid.
Yeah, booms. And then there he is. Now Stargirl goes. She's pretty fast already. And then just boom, she pops her next buff, which gives crazy shields to everyone. And then, Lex starts going, and then next thing you know, your team's good to go. And again, Lex is probably one of the best tunes to go the long run with. Like, it's one of those tunes where if you get past that first tune, or that first wave of attacks, then Lex is probably going to carry you the rest of the way. And she works amazing with him. And like, her AoE hits pretty hard. Like, I think more than pretty hard. Her basic definitely shuts down strength-based tunes, like especially when it double pops. You can get Arcus neutered, you can get Wonder Girl neutered, I even neutered Coda. Like, it's just I don't know what else to say about Stargirl. I like her right now. I'm a huge fan. Like,
I just my only thing is I think, especially in light of what we saw with Spectre, I just don't know if they went far enough. Which is, she's got that strength down conversion, really cool. They made it work around immunities, which is obviously specifically geared at both Azrael and Arcus, but it's still capped at up to 5.
Oh my
and
God,
sometimes it does 1, sometimes it does 4. It's like that alone is already stupid. But what Arcus and especially Azrael have 30 strength ups, no problem. So do 10, do 20, whatever it is. If you want it to work, make it work.
So do we think that's a bug or no?
I don't think that's a bug.
Really?
I think that's
Imagine, like, it's
So
just...
what they could have done that would have been cool there is, they could have done something like, if a character with strength ups hits somebody who's under the protection of her shields, they instantly transfer all strength ups into strength downs around immunities.
Her
that would be like an interesting.
How would they do like her shields
versus somebody else's shield?
I guess they'd have to. They could code it in there.
No,
I guess, or just I guess under.
Good luck. Good luck.
Or under shields. They could just do
under shields. Sure, maybe under shields.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Maybe they could have just give one of her active moves like convert everything. Or if you hit her.
Do you think that'd be too
her AoE should have been convert all strength ups into strength downs.
How they remove the strength downs on her AoE, which is mind-boggling to me.
Like, I don't know. I feel like, would that not be too much? I guess turning all the strength downs, strength ups down. No, that's.
No,
so.
Because you gotta look at where the game is now. The game, like, you can literally take a turn with Black Flash and take 6 more turns with characters before anybody gets another turn on the other side.
True.
Where it's like you can do so much purging and buffing within that time. You know what I mean? Like, you can. There's characters that there's so many characters now that remove all buffs or remove all debuffs on a character.
That's not even the worst. Grodd steals all in ups, and no one's complaining about it, right?
And takes it for himself too. Like that. Just, yeah, that's true.
My thought is, at some point there is a limit to the number of characters that you can bring to a match, right? So you look at the other side, and let's say, you're trying to do counter 1 versus 1 on every single one. If there's a Harley, okay, let's bring a Terra. If there's an Azrael, great, we bring a Stargirl and that neuters her, whatever it is. But at some point, you're like no longer selecting your own team. There's a finite number of spots. I think even if it was convert all strength ups to strength downs, and yes, we finally have the Azrael counter that we need, people are still going to use Azrael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, just even beyond that, it's like, okay, Stargirl's a problem for strength characters. There's a ton of int-based characters in the game.
Yeah.
And plenty of them that would love to just like hit right under her shield and take her out in one shot. Like,
yeah.
So
who could that be?
Yeah, I think these two reworks are great already. I mean, yeah, these we've only been out for like a week ish, less than, and so but already like the buzz around Spectre is great. Again, Stargirl's looking really solid. I've done a full board of Siege, Spectre, Stargirl on every team, obviously, but I've run them outside of Siege too, and they do great. Like, I mean, especially Spectre, but I mean that Stargirl under Lex Spectre under Lex with those intelligence ups. It's just it's bonkers. Like it's
the
bonkers.
only disappointing thing with Stargirl is when you don't get the good strength up conversion. When like you get like the 1, and then it's like, cool. Now I have an Azrael on the other side that's just gonna run rampant. Like,
yeah,
you know, and so.
There is one other disappointing thing about Stargirl, but I don't know if we were talking about that. The skin.
The skin?
I thought the skin was okay.
I looked at the skin today.
It's fine.
Yeah, like I looked at it today,
I don't
and everyone
think
was
it's the
like,
worst thing ever.
like right before I opened it, everyone was like, "Oh, it's so terrible, so terrible." And then like right when I first looked at it, I said, "Okay, it's not. I'm not in love with it," but I think I was drawn to the face. But then I pulled up pictures of her, and I was looking at the source, you know, the New 52 bombshells, and I'm just like, okay, it looks like the thing. It looks good. She doesn't look ridiculous. It's just those glasses they put on her. My goodness gracious, they're terrible. She has cool goggles in the comics, like a pilot goggles, you know, because she's flying around on the cosmic stuff.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
They're on a budget, so.
I guess.
We'll see when we get around to Toonies this year, but I'm gonna make a prediction now. I don't think she's gonna win any awards for the skin.
She may not. Like, I mean,
I don't think it's not the worst skin they've ever brought out. It's definitely not the best.
Yeah.
All right,
like,
I got our deltoids.
So
she is ripped. She's definitely ripped.
You know.
So I do have one question for all you guys on just us talking about Stargirl. So now, and this involves Spectre a bit, with Spectre hitting under shields and then Stargirl giving 75% shields, how long till they bring out over shields?
Ooh, well, would that be over shields or just extra shield?
A second shield on top of your regular shield, just like overheal over your regular health bar.
Like a purple shield?
Yes.
That would be.
Don't see it.
You don't see it happening? I mean, that would be, I guess, that'd be neat, you know?
Who
would get it first?
It's one of those things where like I could see it coming just because now that we're introducing a character that does almost 100% shield in one turn. Which, do we have anybody that does 100% shield? I think about
We don't, but I think it should be Dr. Fate when they rework him.
Yeah,
I was.
And then there's more and more characters that have been able to hit under shields lately. So it's just like
instinct would be Lanterns would get the extra shield. Like, the overshield, because that's just
I think
like a lantern thing.
if it were ever to get brought in, either Dr. Fate would do it, or a rework of Saint Walker, specifically when he's with Green Lanterns.
Okay.
Yeah, but why?
Is where I would see it coming in at.
Why Dr. Fate?
Just because he's crazy good with shields. He's
like legendary in comics for like creating these massive shields.
Okay.
They're usually in the shape of the Ankh. You know, and
that's right.
And he was kind of the first one for a long time, obviously even before Stargirl. His 35% shield to the whole team, that was the biggest team shield in the game. And so they just took Stargirl from what, 25 to 75?
Yeah.
So I could see them taking him from 35 to 100, no problem.
What does Steel do for shields?
40% to himself, and let's see. I do know his basic gives him 40%.
Because I know he dishes out the shields like crazy.
15 to others, I think.
I think we'll see more empowered buffs before we see like an overshield.
Yeah.
But it's just, I thought it was something I had a thought of, and I was like, it could be something that I could see them introducing, because they have like iterated on health bars and buff as the game's gone on. You know what I mean? And like given bigger versions of them. So I could see them doing that with shields.
What do you think?
Yes, you know, I was surprised when Overheal came out at some point.
Yeah.
I guess my only concern is like when they brought out Overheal, it was a very easy thing to do, I guess, because like men's all of a sudden would take you to Overheal, but they never went back and fixed people that just had a heal. So you have Zatanna not doing an overheal at this point, right? It's like, how much would they have to go back and
There's a lot of characters that have to go back. Unless they just retroactively changed it to where it's like, in a way how like men's would do it, is just like shield would just keep applying. You know what I mean? Like up to 200% or something. You know what I mean? Like But I just think it's something that would be cool, and I just kind of like thought about it for a second. But
you want to know the only reason I don't want it? Legitimately, the only reason I don't want it is because I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna have a character with full overshield and full overheal. Azrael's gonna one-shot it, no problem. And I'm just it's gonna be 5 health bars, just decimate. I'm just gonna throw my phone out the window. So
because doesn't he ignore shield on his 3 if he has true sight?
He just looks at my tunes and they all die. So
the other question I do have real quick, while we're still kind of in the Spectre area, and Josh, we talked about this in your stream a little bit. Is it time to fix the star system?
I remember when this first debate came out, and I remember, I think it was was it Bolsey that made the post on Reddit or something, or someone made a post talking about, we promise we won't abuse the system anymore with the Lobo. Was it you?
Isa, that was me.
Okay, so when I read that post, I agreed. I was like, yeah, it's time. Let's get rid of the star system. But now that it's been so long, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore about the star system. I guess I don't use revive tunes that much is why.
And why don't you use revive tunes though? Because you don't get stars for it.
But I don't care. I don't care about Wraith. I don't care about the stars that get I literally don't.
Yeah, no. I mean, they should change it to even in Siege, to where it's because here's the thing, and the way I explained it in your chat earlier was that basically the meta and the way everything counters is like a circle on a link.
I remember this.
Or a link of chains, right? And it's like the link's not gone, but it's broken where the revive teams are at. Because basically what would end up happening is revive would be a good way to counter speed meta, especially with Spectre and on death people. Because say if Black Flash starts resetting and you start getting killed, but your tunes come back, and then you get to punish them for killing you. Now, the counter to that revive team is bringing a Red Hood, Spectre, heal immune, very heavy team. And then the counter to that, you could do something like debuff purge, or even speed meta counters that. And then you're back to the beginning again, where revivers will counter speed meta, to where it's not just speed meta counter speed meta. You know what I mean? Because that's how we get stuck, where we have Manhunter, Black Flash, Azrael.
I mean, I get it. I don't know. I think just speed is too important, but I don't know if I get what you're saying, but I don't know if revive tunes will shut that down. And just I don't know. I don't know about the stars. I mean, I know what I think needs to be fixed in Wraith, and I've talked about it ad nauseum.
Yeah.
So I know what needs to be fixed there. So I just don't know if it's so much the star system as well. Because it's true. It costs you. Because remember, wasn't it back in the day? It was just you win, you get these points. Boom, that's all you get. Regardless of your star.
That's all it was.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean.
Yes.
My only thought, and this goes back to kind of what I said in that post from a while back, but it's at the time that they made that switch and everything, heal immunity was not anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Very few tunes had it. It was Dr. Fate and not many other people. Now, Terra's got it on her basic. Red Hood's got it everywhere. Fate's got it everywhere. Huntress can do it out of turn. AoEs have it. So it's okay, now it's pretty easy to keep a revive tune dead, such that I don't think anybody's going to all of a sudden start using a whole bunch of revive tunes and to great success just because they changed the star system.
So before now I'm trying to remember, there was just no stars. It was just victory.
Oh, there were stars.
Yeah. It would just be.
Yeah, you still get the full.
Yeah, so it's say if for instance, Lobo would die and he would come back,
right?
And you still have 4 characters standing at the end of the match. You got graded for how many characters were standing at the end of the match. So if you had lost a character, you go down to 2 stars. But if you had 4
points
characters,
would be the
even if
same.
they had died 17 million times throughout the entire fight, which like Lobo did, you know, you would still get 3 stars.
But the
as long
trophies
as
are
all
the
4 of
same,
them are
right?
standing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
but
right.
the points are the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. I think if they changed the star system, I would be fine with it. Like, cause I don't think, like, I personally don't think if the star system got changed, I mean, maybe for Siege, but like, I don't think I'm gonna be like, okay, I got to bring my revives now. But I don't know, for Siege, do you think it should be for Siege as well?
Yeah.
In this Siege, you're going to use White Lantern Sinestro, and you're going to let your toons die, and their Spectre is just going to be going to town on you. Like, that's not going to help you.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just,
I just where my thoughts on this came from was the introduction of now like Spectre, because before, what the problem why like even revivers wouldn't counter, like wouldn't be the solution to speed meta, right, was Black Flash resets his cooldown on death. So like that was always the problem. Now Spectre, if you have Spectre on your team and they bring Black Flash and then they reset you and then they kill you and your Spectre's up on that death, they now get punished for killing you. And say if you're running White Lantern Sinestro, you get a character that comes back. Now, specifically in this particular Siege this month, everybody's going to be running White Lantern Sinestro and Spectre, so you're not necessarily going to want to run a team like that because you're going to get punished for letting one of your toons die too. But it's just, what I'm saying is, like, in the grand scheme of things, in the way the game plays, and in future Sieges where like Spectre's going to be everywhere for a long time. But there's a section of the game that is put on a shelf right now because of the way the star system works. And I think they need to be brought back out to play. That's my biggest thing.
I'm sold. I'm in. All right, fix the star system. Like, I just remember when Zubaz, when you made that post, and then like I was thinking, yeah, if we can fix the star system. But now I guess my rage is so focused on the trophy thing that I don't even care about the stars anymore. And I guess that's just because I've been pounded so much by the trophy thing that like I forgot how important the stars were. But I don't know.
Well, and it's also like, I do want to say, we'll end up talking about Tournament of Legends later in the podcast, but I do agree with your ruling on revivers in Tournament of Legends, though. I do like that you are now allowing them, but here's the thing. The reason why I think revivers would work better, like say even in Siege and everything, is it's more of a closed meta. Whereas like, if you allow somebody to bring like Lobo and just go crazy and let Lobo die over and over and over again in your Tournament of Legends, like, there's very easy ways to facilitate clearing an entire board using just Lobo as your taunter, right? And like letting him die over and over again. It's because you're gonna run into a bunch of random stuff. You know what I mean? You're not gonna run into like an expected amount of characters, I guess, is kind of where I'm getting at there. But so that we don't have too long of a podcast, let's go ahead and start talking about July raids.
Yeah,
let's moving on to the rest.
Let's jump to the July raids. It's a recap. I mean, I don't know, like, I literally right now, constantly as we're doing this, I'm thinking, who freaking cares about raids? Like, right when I press the button, like, well, what do you say? Like, it's
I mean, we don't have to have a big long.
Yeah, we can just talk about it.
It was an easier one. I like it a lot better than the Superboy Prime one, for sure.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Superboy Prime always sucks.
Well, I mean, segueing from the last topic, though, and this was something that we briefly talked about before we started the stream, but Spectre already is playing a huge role in raids, and you two said you didn't use him at all.
None.
No.
That's what.
Okay, so I was using Spectre. I had him level 80, L5 since the month that he debuted. And if you just ran solo Spectre by himself, no dark side, no hippo, no anything, he would clear a level 90 boss on his own with between 40 and 45 seconds left on the clock every single time.
On auto?
On auto. You don't have to do anything. It's this combo of he stuns them so they can't do anything. Now, I don't know how well
because
that
he
would
opens
work
with that, right?
He does his stun. His AoE in the beginning, what you see over the course of the 2 minutes or whatever it is it just gets progressively harder and harder because his basic is stacking those intelligence downs. And also, if you recall, he does his basic after he does his AoE.
Oh.
So he does his AoE, then he does his basic, then he does his basic again, and you just keep going, and the boss doesn't get any turns. So by the end, he is doing, depending on whether he crits or not, between 5 and 10 million damage on
And
a
he
single
wasn't
basic.
even a bonus tune.
Was not a bonus tune.
Oh my goodness.
We should anticipate that he'll probably be a 2 times bonus tune for the next raid, and he's going to make everything very, very simple. But he's not a bonus tune. And on the Alliance boss, the third level Alliance boss, the one that's there for Saturday and Sunday, is green. And by himself, he was doing 130 to 160 million, no problem.
Yeah. So M4, I know you're always so tight-lipped and close to the vest with all your owl secrets. I know it's always like prying teeth to get these secrets from you. But what were the owls doing this raid with their bosses?
We killed him over and over.
There it is. See, this is what I'm talking about. What was the comp you're using?
Let's see.
I don't believe anything he's gonna say.
I mean, it's over. So what's the point in me?
That's what I'm saying. Tell us. Spill the beans.
For the 150, I think I'm reading notes. Dark Side, Hippo, and Lois.
Okay, makes sense.
For the Alliance boss, I think it's just. Oh, yeah.
I knew
He's
it.
not going to reveal
No,
something.
he's not.
It's Spectre plus one other thing.
Oh, it's. What's the color of the boss? I can tell you from memory.
It was green.
Green. I think Black Hat. I used Dark Side, Black Hat, and Hippolyta.
I feel like he's hiding the biggest.
No
secret.
chance.
Yeah, there's
no chance.
I used the Spectre solo for the day 3. That's what I used it for.
Okay.
M4, why do you do this to us? Why do you do this to us? You're our resident owl spy. I'm sorry, owls, if you're listening to this. M4 is a spy. He goes and gives all the information to us, and look what he does. He's just doing this for the podcast. But when the podcast is off and the cameras are off, he'll be telling us, I guess.
I am looking at our notes. It literally says Dark Side, Lois, and Hippo. That's it.
No, see.
Okay.
No.
I can tell you, in the 1500, that several of us were just running Spectre and doing huge damage. I'm pretty sure that's what Vagrant was doing.
I did that for the 130 on day 3.
Sure. The day 3. I mean, Spectre by himself, solo, and you would get 140 to 150 million.
I'm gonna tell you why we don't use that for the Alliance boss. Because there's no time for Spectre to ramp.
So you're saying you can do something faster.
You guys take I don't know how long to kill your Alliance boss. Because
there's only 2 of us running at a time, basically.
Yeah.
For us, it's like that's it. Alliance boss is dead. So
Alliance boss turn.
Right, we have different.
Right, it just dies in 5 seconds. I forgot.
Yeah, Spectre's not gonna work. He's not for the solos. Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
okay. All right, M4. All right.
So yeah, no, for us, for the 1500, I think the most we had was like probably 4 or 5 people on an Alliance boss. You could still get away with running just Spectre. So I think instantly he is now one of those Dark Side Hippo lowest tunes that he's going to be used for every single raid, no matter what.
I felt like, for this raid, I noticed I was able to get my milestones very, very quickly this time. It was significantly, it was my fastest ever doing it. I finished around like 11:30, so almost, was that 6.5 hours? And there's been plenty of times where I've finished at like 3 a.m., So
lead by example. Do your solo before the team. Yeah.
I go in, I knock it out, and then I get back on the Alliance boss. But I honestly, this weekend, for whatever reason, I felt like I was very busy, and I wasn't able to just be on the Alliance boss as much as I normally am. I think I did like 700 attacks still, but everyone
you were
did
pretty far down on the list this time.
Yeah, because there's so many of people in the Alliance did like over 1,000 attacks. I'm just like, what the heck's going on over here? But it was nice. Like I've said this before the 1500 really kind of it became what it is now. When I've been the leader for a while, and before we had any big hitters or anything, like I was literally carrying the alliance into the top, 100 or something. I was doing massive attacks. I was attacking all the time, and it just it's so nice to be now that I can not do that. Like I don't have to, I got my crew here that can make it easier for me, which is nice. But I don't know. Like I felt like this boss was easy. The tunes were great. Dark Side Hippo Lois worked so well. And I finished very quickly. I just felt like, I don't know. Did you guys think this was easier compared to other raids? Because obviously compared to Superboy Prime, it's significantly easier, which was the last boss. But
I mean, this one was particularly easy for me because RB4 Huntress. So that last day, the legendaries were just cake.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even because pretty much the legendaries are always cake now just because Dark Side Lois. But it was even more for me now that it was when I got done hitting the boss from one attack, I was passing it off to people with literally 20 to 50 million health left.
Really?
So it was I was doing 242.
Yeah. And it was sticking? It was
sticking.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was because of Huntress. When I took Huntress out, I would get the lesser because I glitched. But with Huntress, it was slowing it down just enough, but still doing, and Huntress, once the health bar got into the red on the Alliance boss, it was pretty much after every single person's attack, Huntress was doing her big hit.
Yeah.
It was just over and over and over and over again. And so it slowed it down just enough to where I wasn't able to kill it in one shot, but when I was handing it off to people, it was almost dead.
Yeah. For me, I don't care if I do, 200 million or what. All I care about is if I get right around the MVP lock, 50%. If because even if I'm at 45% or whatever, that's fine.
I have to say something. Costly, imagine if your Huntress was actually RB5. Just imagine.
Imagine for a second. I
would have glitched.
10% better.
10% better.
That's what would have happened.
And also, if you don't know what we're talking about, Costly spread these wild lies.
My gosh.
Lies that he had RB5. Everyone was talking about the new RB5s are getting. He's like, oh, my Huntress was RB5 too. Don't forget about that. But lo and behold, it was not. It was
I think where this originally started was, in case people don't know, Toonitron does a RB5 showcase every couple months or every 6 months or every, I don't know. It's very random on when he does it. At least it feels like it is. So he was asking in a couple different chats, where everybody was. And at the time, I thought I was in a better place gym-wise and was able to farm Huntress faster. And I said, I think I'll have her RB5 by the time you get that done. And I think that's where the rumors started that I got RB5 Huntress. Because I don't have RB5 Huntress, I have RB4. Yeah. I'm probably a good month and a half away from having RB5. And if I don't have it in a month and a half, I'm going to get even more crap, but okay.
Question,
I'm setting an alarm right now.
Wasn't the raid, wasn't the RB5 showcase supposed to come out during the raids?
Yes.
What's up with that, man?
He's apparently he's about to go on vacation, and so they're not going to be done for quite some time. So all the deadlines that everybody was rushing.
I know. I took my Harley. I was, come on.
Wow. I feel bad, and just so everybody, I'm going to remind everybody right now that Toonitron, ever since we started talking crap about him during Tony's last year, has an open invitation to jump onto the podcast for at least. I think he has an open invitation for the podcast, but he's for sure going to be on. At least I told him he could be on Toonies this year. So because the crap talking from this podcast started during Toonies, when we had to, we made him his own little category.
Remember when he was doing his basically his farewell tour? He was going on all the different podcasts and saying he's I'm stepping away, and then. Literally from that point, he pumped out more content than he's ever had. I just was.
Yeah.
He needed the drive and he got it from being on.
I get But all right. So that was July raids. Basically, it wasn't anything fancy. They're raids. You bring your Dark Side Lois, and obviously now Spectre.
One other thing worth noting, they removed a whole alliance from raids.
They did. Kind of a big deal. They did. I heard the hoopla going on, and it was DC Infinity, you know. I don't think it's any secret now that they are. We know there are alliances out there that, you know, harvest and, you know, support the hacking mentality. Either they support it or they just don't care. Like, hey, go do whatever you want. We don't care. But what? Okay, so DC Infinity got taken off the leaderboard. But was that it? Was that the punishment?
As far as we know. It seems that none of them lost individual rewards if they had any, because it seems like nobody moved up a significant number of spots. Right. That's about all we know. We haven't heard anything about bans or anything like that either.
So I mean, again, I guess who cares? I don't know. Like, do they like they're just all right? So we didn't do it. And this is all I'm thinking now, that because this happened is if you go and do something as blatant as they did, and you find out the repercussions are, oh, we don't get a reward. So, all right, fine. Next month, we'll just, you know, slip into the top 20 real easy or something, you know, like, you know, go up there, hack their way in, and then kind of go under the radar. And I don't know. That's the problem without not having any real punishments going on.
I know. Yeah. I just think it's very simple in a game like this. And I mean, just in most games, it's just like, especially when it's supposed to be a competition that's supposed to be fair and everything. If you cheat, you get reset. Like, just account completely reset, I think is the way it should be, or banned or whatever. Like, it's
and that would
very simple. Like, it's not that hard to just not cheat.
And that put the fear in people, because you would jump into alliance, and then if someone is cheating, you know, you would then if I was, you know, if we're in our alliance and the punishments were severe, you know, our whole alliance gets, you know, accounts wiped, I would say, hey, I would immediately go to WB. Like, look, I know this person's cheating. I want to make sure I don't get caught, and I'm going to leave the alliance and all that. You know, like it would, you know, that would help. But I mean, they're not. It's the reality of it. It's not going to happen. But
costly. Imagine if there was a competition where everything is reported and there's no room for cheating, right? Imagine if there was one.
You know what competition is out there. And let's segue to that. M4.
That was a brilliant segue.
Segue. M4. Tournament of Legends is over. And big congratulations to you. Thank God M4. What is worse, playing Siege or playing Tournament of Legends?
I don't know by what factor, but at least 1,000 times Tournament of Legends is worse. Okay. So Siege, I only play how many in a day?
8?
9
to 9
at most. 8, or, you know, depending on the day.
Mm-hmm. Depending on if you ask for extra energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
For certain individuals, that's so. And Josh knows this because I was constantly in communication with him during the finals, and I was like, why would you put us through hell of 25 matches?
5 more matches.
You know how long I take.
You took a while. I mean, and I did point it out on the live stream of the finals. When I got the videos and I opened it up, I saw Fire Wings was a nice tight 45 minutes. You know, Fire Wings goes in, he doesn't play around. Like, he just goes in. He's been there before, you know. It's old hat.
Better or worse.
Yeah. Good or he goes in.
He knows what he's doing.
He whips it out, lays it down, and then, you know, you deal with the wake of the destruction after that. And M4, I popped open your video and it was like an hour and a half, and I was like,
it's quality content. Let's just say that. All right. So
it is first. You can learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I want to say is Zubaz, thank you. For the first time on Sunday, I finally understood the rules when you explained it.
Nice.
Okay. So at that point, all right. If only I knew that like 3 months ago.
Oh my goodness.
I may have done a little better. Even during this whole thing, I may have planned my run a little better, and it would have gone a lot smoother. But I guess this was Josh's intent in the first place: chaos, utter chaos. gives more drama.
Okay, so
Yeah.
as much as I love to crap all over Josh, what is hard to understand about you pick 10, and then 5 rotate out
Thank
over and
you,
over and over
Crossley.
again?
I don't know
Like-
why that
like-
seemed like the hardest
All right.
thing, and I'm just like, I
Okay.
don't understand.
I'm just gonna tell you that I make fun of Josh for that, but that part I get. So I made it to the finals, and then suddenly someone told me like, "Hey, you have to stream this secretly." I was like, "What? Where did that come from? That is not in the rules." And he's like, "Yes, it is. I just told you. It's the rule. Whatever I tell you, it's the rule."
That's not what I said. You said
That's something to that effect. Zubaz, you back me up here. That's how it goes.
That is
you have
relatively
to-
how it goes.
You have to type the full name, but I'm gonna take John Constantine, not Jonathan. But that's how Josh works.
No.
Whatever he thinks at that time, that's the rule, and you just have to roll with it.
it
I was like,
made.
fine.
Here's how it happens. We don't want people to watch you stream the finals before the live final because that's when the reveal is. So obviously you're gonna have to stream it secretly. That goes. I felt like that went
How
without
do you
saying.
secret stream something?
So
How do you?
Exactly. Well, thank you,
no.
Cosby. Thank you.
You just make a new Twitch account. That's what Firewings does. Firewings doesn't have so when he does his normal matches on the Tournament Legends, he uses whatever his name is, Firewings. His name Firewings. But when he does his finals, he just makes a new one like Firewings, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, and then boom, he streams on there, and then he sends me that link, so that way no one can watch him. If when he goes live, people that are following him don't get notified, and it's very secret, hush hush. It wasn't too
I
bad.
can't wait for the awkward moment when you guys are watching one of those videos, and somebody who has their stream normally set up, but they're streaming to a separate Twitch account, gets raided by one of the regular DCL streamers in the middle of it. Then just see somebody playing DCL, like, "Hey, new streamer," and it's just you're gonna see pop up in the middle, just like you're being raided by Rundown, like.
But the Tournament Legends, it was a month long, and I'm already kind of cooking up some ideas for the next one. But the next one will be in 3 months, and M4. So, talk about the process from start to finish. Like, how did you feel in the qualifiers, in the quarters, the semis, and the finals? Like, what was, your mindset going in?
I feel like, what's a good word? Since this is a family-friendly podcast, I just say I felt like crap.
Okay.
I'm going to get into those, the feeling, all right? But one thing I'm going to say, Josh, is that this tournament that you made, at first I hated because I couldn't understand it. I'm kidding. It's not that hard. It's not
that hard.
The rules are not that. No, it's hard, but the rules are not that complicated. They just made up at the spot. But the one thing I like about this is that the integrity of the competition is never in question.
Yeah.
Because you see from start to finish how it went. Like, it's finite points. This is it. You see it from start to finish, no pause. That's it.
Yeah.
You know how it was done, how you won, how you lost. So kudos to you, Josh, for cooking
Thanks,
this up.
M4.
All right. All right. So now here's the annoying part of this. It goes against the way I play.
Right.
That's why I told you this. It causes me a lot of stress because I see a team in front of me. I know how to beat it. But what you do is like, tie my hands behind my back and force me to use this then and like deal with it. I mean, it forces you to think during the match, and I hate that. It's not that I can't do it. I can, but I hate doing it because I like to do all my thinking before the match starts.
Yeah, we
That's
saw.
why it's
Right.
I want to go into a match knowing what will happen. And in the finals, let's talk about the finals because everyone kind of like know how I'm thinking during the prior.
You stream those lives and you talked about your thought
Right.
process.
Yeah, you know what I'm going through. But through the finals, I turned off my mic. I'm just like focused. The only person I'm talking to is you. So going through them, like, okay, what happens? Took me a few seconds. Scroll with it, seconds before I go to a match.
Seconds.
I mean, minutes are comprised of seconds.
Yeah, they
so-
are.
Okay, so took me a few seconds to get into a
You
match.
think out your entire matches before you go in, and
Yes, yes.
that's how you win. So like,
I know what's
I'm not
going
gonna
to
shame you on
most
that.
of the
Like,
Results are results. That's you can't argue
Yes.
with it.
Because
But-
we saw he thought, and then when the match started, the match was over in 10 seconds.
Right.
like
Yeah.
Yes, except for those ones when I have to use Enchantress.
Yeah.
So I know some people take credit for that, and I will tell you this: I give you full credit for causing me undue stress. You take whoever that person is, I give you full credit. All right. So towards the end, you may have noticed it, like how quickly I just pressed battle. My I don't know how late that was, Josh. You probably know.
It was pretty late when you were texting me talking about, you were asking questions, like clarifying rules, and like, because you kept asking me like, what are the points on the refresh? And that's when I was like, oh my God, he's going to refresh. You know, I'm thinking, I didn't know if he was going to do it or not, but, and that was pretty late. And also it was late on my end. So it was, 2 hours later for you. And
Yeah. I was spent. I was like, I give up. I'm just gonna brute force this thing. I know eventually this team is going to work. And I'm just gonna try it a few times, and I'm gonna get lucky.
when
And
did
I hated
you,
it.
like, so you thought you lost while you were
I
playing?
did.
Yeah.
I did. Because I asked you like what was Firewing score last one? I
In
was like,
85 and 15.
then I was like, oh my God, I'm already going to be in the 20s, and
Mm-hmm.
this is not good enough. I mean, disappointing, but fine. I did my best for about an hour and 15 minutes. On the first board, I did. That was honestly a misplay on my part. I didn't stun Black Flash. I would have,
Yeah.
yeah. I played it and was like, dang it. I played it again immediately because I know what I did wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like,
And then you had that team again and you played it the exact same way again. So,
yeah, and it was, I was like bumping my, like,
Yeah.
what were you thinking, M4? That was an easy fight. That was routine. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but it set it up perfectly for you, Josh, because otherwise it would have been a boring.
Oh my goodness. This, if you haven't watched it yet, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched Eternal Legends, I mean, spoiler, M4 won, but the drama going into those last matches, it was insane because at the time, Firewings had finished so much earlier than M4. We knew his score already. It was 74 and 26. And at the time, like, M4 was rolling, I think at one point M4 was at like 50 and 5 or something. And so it looked like it was going to be, M4 just going to roll through and go. But then I think when we were really looking at the second board, we realized M4 was avoiding certain teams, and we went to find out later that the reason he was avoiding those teams is because they were going to be an issue, and they were an issue. And those last matches, he would attempt to fight it, he would lose, try a different team, fight it and lose, and it was just slowly his loss record started creeping up, and it got to the point where he got to the second to his last match. He had 2 matches left to finish. You have to do 25. He was on match 24, and it came down to he had to win. Like, it was. Yeah. It was nuts, and he had to win that match after losing to it, I think, like 3 times in a row. So it was just insane.
I know.
I know you weren't doing it for the drama, but I mean, by gosh, like, you hovering around each team, like looking at the reset button, like all of those things, it made for this just perfect, like,
I know.
stream. It was incredible.
It was hard to not say anything for I don't know how many days, 5 days.
Yeah.
And then okay, I thought I lost, but I did not tell a soul how I did. Not even hinted at it. Not a peep. Josh kind of knows what's going on because of the questions, but he had no idea what happened.
Right.
And even during the match, I withheld comments. You know me, I would always like make a snide comment somewhere.
Right.
I tried not to say anything to not ruin it because I thought it was brilliant, but of course he had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was crazy. And also I had talked, like I said, you didn't tell me anything specific, but I got the vibe from you and also Firewings that you guys didn't do as well as you wanted to do. And again, I say like when you told me like you didn't do, you weren't doing as good, but I mean, I was like, okay, what is not good to M4? Like, I mean, did you lose 10 toons or whatever? So I wasn't really sure, but the fact that you were asking me questions about the reset rule, but the refresh rule, it was that, really got me thinking. And when I talked to Firewings after the stream ended, and he watched it, he's like, I shouldn't have fought Vincent. And I said, yes, you should not have. You 100% should have skipped that match. And I was like, why did you fight it? And he said, honestly, I already thought I had lost by the time I got to Vincent. And so, and I'm like, oh, Firewings, you got to play to win the whole time, because like, if you just would have, you can lose. You don't know what the other person's going to do. They could run into a team and you don't know, they could get stuck. And if he just would have skipped that, I mean, we don't know. It would have been much closer. It would have been a 1-point win at least. It would have been, your 79-21 versus his 78-22. Like, or yeah, 70-22. But who knows? Maybe if he, skips the Vincent, goes to the board, gets an easier board. I don't know. Like it's just, who knows what could have happened. And it was really, really nuts. It was nuts.
The funny thing is, I was watching it. Of course, I know how my matches went, but I don't know my final score. I forgot. So I was legit kind of like excited about what's going on. Like, I know it's not live, but still there's that excitement. And I was like, I don't like this. Let me check my notes. Because I can't handle it anymore. Like, oh, okay, I did win. All right, shut up.
I will say, I was watching this stream. I had to step away like right as all the drama started happening. So I didn't get to see that. I got to go back and watch it. But I will say, Zubaz, Josh, and then DeBoy, who's not here, you guys put on an amazing stream.
Yes.
Like, you guys make it so enjoyable to watch. And I don't know who puts together all like the transitions and all that stuff. Yeah, Josh, I figured. But like it makes it crazy. And it's one of the highest quality things that happens in DCL.
I know, it's like pro esports, and it's really incredible how much damage Ultraman can tank, and still the boy thinks this is crap. Oh, Ultraman died, and you just ignored the fact that he survived like 10 minutes.
Yeah, like he took Darkseid, a double hit from Darkseid, and then took all the hits from the other team, and then finally died. But it was like, oh my god!
Like the commentary was brilliant. Oh, look who's on the floor again.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And I know it's stressful because like you've said before, it's not your normal play style, and that's the structure of the tournament. I'm not giving everyone their full roster. You gotta. I really like the idea that you gotta pick out 10 toons and kind of.
Yes, I hate it.
Yeah, I did it for the first time this tournament. I didn't do the first one. And I did it for two reasons. One, I did want to test a little bit of the revive rule that started this run. The other one was, I felt like it would make me be able to offer better commentary and, just have a better understanding of what was happening. And so my run that I did, I can't remember. I think maybe it was 45 minutes. But as it goes on, and I'm sure it's 10 times worse when you're actually in the qualifiers and the finals and that kind of thing. Just to clarify, I was the bubble boy, finished ninth, still not happy about it. But as you go on, you feel like it's like a ticking time bomb, right? Your first matches, because you're picking and choosing, you have your whole board to choose from, feels very easy. Most people probably start out a good 12-0, 16-0, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait. This is mounting. Like you start, oh, hey, I'm doing really well here. This is feeling really good. And then you run into one thing and you're like, oh my God, my entire world might blow up right now. And it just, by the end of like the 45 minutes, I was like sweating. I was like, I don't want to play the game for another day right now.
I know exactly what you mean.
Went through.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. I didn't make it past qualifiers. And if you look at my score, yes, my score does look bad. But if you were watching, once I knew that I was below like the line, I started messing around.
Yeah.
If you were watching, and so that's why my score got so low. But there was a good for 3/4 of my run, I thought I was gonna make it.
Yeah.
And so like it got crazy towards the end, and then like once I just dipped below that line, I was like, all right, now we're gonna have fun with my 10 tunes.
I watched Kitty do hers live, and it was so funny. She, did her first run. She did amazing in her qualifying round. It was like 73 and whatever, which got her in. But then she was just saying how stressed she was, and she like lifted up her arm to show this is the biggest pit stain I've ever seen. She was like, look, I'm sweating. She was like, she was stressed out during the match. And that's what it causes, because like Zubaz says, you start off and you cherry pick the matches you're going to start with. So you start, 4-0, 8-0, 12-0. And then you're thinking like, after, 16, 20 and 0, you're like, I'm going 80 and 0. And then you realize, well, actually I've been skipping. I didn't fight this team. And then you look at it and you realize you don't have an answer for it. And you're like, you made a mistake. Your tunes aren't going to clear. And then you're going to get stuck on a board. And
Can I tell you something?
You can tell me something.
Okay. So I was watching Tron's run. And for some reason, he decided on his second board to fight Rent Free, which he totally didn't have to.
He didn't have to. I remember that. I was
Yes.
like, why did he had skips. He had skips to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he didn't do that, he would have beat all of you.
Oh, hard disagree.
Like, yeah, because Tootie went into his second board. He had lost some matches on the first board, and if you understand the rules, that means when you
The
go to the
first
second
board, he lost to me.
Yeah, he
was
did. That's
cussing me
right.
out.
And then
He was cussing me out.
when you get to your second board, after taking losses on the first board, you might have
He
8
got an
matches
easy
to do.
second board.
Yeah, you have 8 matches to do, or 7 or whatever, and you can just basically skip 3 of the matches you want, and he fought rent free. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why would you fight that? Like, I don't know. It was a lot of fun to watch all of the qualifiers. Someone had asked a comment which made my day on Reddit. Someone asked the question, was like, where can I go watch all the Tournament Legends? And that was exciting. But I posted all the videos there, and if you want to watch, if you're planning on doing it next time, or even if you're not doing it, but you want to watch, these matches are on Twitch. They're usually in the DC Comic Legends categories. If they did them on YouTube, if they got okayed to do them on YouTube, then you can find them there. But I didn't think the tournament would become, I'm not saying become what it is, but like I really like where it's headed right now. Like I think it's in a good spot. I think it's people are having a lot of fun. Both finals that we've done have been very exciting.
Forget the finals. The qualifiers was crazy. How many good players didn't make it?
Yeah. It was nuts. You're looking at the scores, and like Du Bois had said that when he scored his like 65 and something or whatever, 64, 16 or whatever, which it was a good score, and he was pumped. I was pumped for him. I'm like, you're gonna make it, but then it was just there was a lot of really good players in this. And when I say good players, I'm not necessarily meaning big rosters. Because look at Firewings, look at Uncanny Dash, look at like there's people that get into this, and it's not necessarily they're RB'd out of their minds or level 80, whatever. You don't need that. You just need to play you know how to use your tunes and play them well. And there's luck involved. You got to get the good board. But I'm already excited for the next one.
One of the craziest parts is because Black Flash is banned. The juggle of speed meta. Of like how to get it in there is very interesting.
Yes,
and
I agree.
So for my qualifiers, I did bring Impulse and Martian Manhunter because I was saving like a Brainiac Cheetah combo for like the later.
Yeah.
Just because my Cheetah is RB5, so it's like that was going to be my solution, was like some sort of that with a little bit of turn meter down. Like I think I saved my Mr. Freeze. Or did I? No, I brought him, I think. Anyways. I was trying to, like, it's just the juggle of trying to figure out how to do that.
Right. Imagine not bringing your best tune and not make it through, right?
I had a plan. I thought Zod could do it, and I mean that solidified, because people were asking like, who's better, Zod or Arcus right now? And I mean, obviously my Zod is L5 and Marcus is RB3, but I thought Zod could do it, and you know what? Paid the price. And that solidified. Arcus is better than Zod. I think if they were both equal L5, I still think Arcus is better. I don't know.
You know who did bring their tune? They're known for
Who did? You did?
Yeah. I had Cassandra was on my team.
Yeah. And four brought Shiva for the qualifiers. Like I said, he wasn't trying to get cutesy with it.
I burned too many good tunes in the first round.
Not to put too fine a point on it, but I think either 19 of my 20 matches or possibly all 20 I used Enchantress Lead in my qualifying round. And, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you didn't qualify. 68, I was just below.
Right on
at the cusp.
And
I did bring Enchantress as well.
Enchantress, the final match that won the tournament for M4, Enchantress Lead.
Of course.
I do have a question for you, Zubaz. If you made it to the semis, what would you have done?
Well, so this is the funny thing, right? Like, on the one hand, I don't know exactly what I would have done because, like, I'm so not used to using those tunes. On the other hand, I still would have had Lex, Martian Manhunter. I would have had all of what everybody is using in the beginning. And so I would have learned how to use those tunes, I guess.
Yeah.
I still had Red Hood. Darkside and Enchantress were the only two leaders I used in the qualifying round. So I still had everybody that everybody else uses.
I'm trying to remember who my qualifying tunes were now. Hold on. I sent it to Josh.
I also know that when I was watching 2D pick his tunes, and he sent me his list, I thought, man, 2D, if you make it, out of the qualifiers into thing, he's going to have every single meta tune available for the next, the last two rounds. Cause and it's
that's what I was. Yeah. I didn't bring or use a single physical tune in the qualifying round. No reds, not a single red in the entire round.
See, one of the
imagine if you brought one, you might have made it.
I was saving them. I don't know. Maybe they're more important later. I don't know.
See, one of the things that I've tried to do, because I've always been a proponent of this, is there's a lot of characters out there that are underrated, in my opinion, in this game. And Tournament of Legends highlights a lot of those. And that's what I've tried to do in the past 2 times that I've played Tournament of Legends. And I think one of the ones I did this time that a lot of people were surprised by when they saw it working, when it did work, and it also was kind of the death of me, was Poison Ivy.
Oh, okay.
When I was bringing Poison Ivy to work with Starfire.
Yeah.
And when it was working, it was working. And it was making Starfire go crazy. And then there's other times where I brought Ivy when I really shouldn't have. But it was one of the things that happens when you're playing is you'll go on a streak and you'll kill 2 to 3 teams with the same team, and then you'll feel like you need to stick with that team.
Yeah, it's working.
Or you'll make a decision. Specifically for me, it was the pairing of Ivy and Starfire. And it's but it was things that Ivy did in the match that weren't necessarily gelling with Starfire, but gelled with other characters in the match, like giving taunt to Cassandra Cain and stuff like that. Ooh. And so I was like, you know what, I'll do that on the next match, even though Starfire's not going to be in there. And then I bring Ivy and she really doesn't do anything and it's a wasted slot, and then I end up losing the match. And that's kind of what happened on my qualifiers. I think it's a great tournament though. It's one of the things that's making this game real fun right now.
Thank you for saying that, because it was, I came up with the idea and I was like, is this even gonna work? And then I really am, after the finals, I was buzzing all day. I was in a really good mood. I was just I was so pumped up, and then I'm thinking 3 months. I didn't like Siege. I don't even care about Siege anymore. I don't know.
I think the 3-month thing is going to be real good though, because as we already saw, there was a lot more interest this time around than the first time. And I think that's only going to grow to the point where I have 2 questions for you. Number one, off of this month, is Spectre going to be banned?
I don't know. We'll see. We have 3 months to see.
I know we have 3 months to wait. I'm just saying.
3 months is a lot of time.
It is. The meta can change.
Need to evaluate.
Yeah. It'll be changed. I mean, for sure, Azure and Black Flash, I think, are still going to be banned. Because again, it's not so much on defense that they're scary. It's just the offense that they bring. It becomes, it's too easy. I think they're too much of a solution. But I'm already. I said earlier, I already have some ideas cooking. And this is coming from soccer and World Cup and Olympic soccer. But if there is a increased amount of entries, I am considering doing a pool play, have pools A, B, C, D, E, F, 5 teams, 5 people in each pool, and then the top 2 from each pool make it out or something. And then, like do buys, and it's. So I'm excited to see.
See, that was my next question. Is because right now, and again, I joke about M4 not understanding the rules and giving you all that crap. I still never actually sat down and like really studied the way it works. So from my understanding, when it moves on to like, is it quarters?
Quarterfinals, yeah.
It's always like 8 players, right? Or who moves on?
Yeah.
So if you have enough entries,
it's definitely not 9.
It's not 9.
Would you consider that being bumped up?
Yeah, I mean,
if you have more
right
entries.
off the bat, I'm thinking just 12 entries. Or, I mean, again, if it was crazy popular and if it crazy amount, I would even do like 2 separate brackets. But again, it's the timing within the month. I might even extend the Tournament of Legends to run longer than a month. But the first thought is to go to 12 and then have the top 4 get a first round bye. So boom, right there. It just increases from 8 to 12. And then they get a first round bye. But then I'd have to think about like, do they have to when you don't have the bye and you do that first round, do you get to use that toon again, or do you have to swap the first round? I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but it's things we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Zubaz and M4Y15 and just to get more ideas. But yeah, I've already thought about expanding the initial the qualifiers and then,
well, I mean, even if it ends up giving it more rounds, that's not that big of a deal because you got to remember how many characters are in the game. Yes, it's like we're limiting characters, but at the same time, there's like 140 something characters.
Yeah,
162.
No,
162.
No. Don't do that, please.
But I'm also like, my other concern too is, and this was like a little thought, because originally I think I was planning on doing a team of 15, like. You pick 15 toons, but then I felt like that was too easy and then too many toons because I want, as of right now, you need 26 toons geared up, minimum to go all the way. So, and that's not that much. I think most players, they can do 26. So I just don't want it to be like you need 80 toons geared up to get through the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
my other question, so I said 2, but I have a third one.
All right.
Now that I came up with it. So say if it did get expanded like that, just in a theoretical sense, would you consider allowing, like, let's say Spectre is banned, allowing Spectre, Black Flash, and Azrael back into the pool, but you can't, like, they're banned at semis forward?
That could be something.
Like,
I mean, it's just...
So it's like, you ensure people use them early, but it's like, because once you get to the point where, like, say if it does get extended out another round, then you're talking about, like, was that like 31 toons people need to have geared?
It would be 30 toons, specifically 30.
I think you're opening yourself up to problems there, which is at that point you're going to have a lot of 80 and O's.
That's another thing.
And you're just coming down to tiebreakers, which is messy.
Yeah.
I was actually suggesting the opposite. Ban more.
Who do you want banned, M4?
I don't know. Up to you, but like
you can't ban too much of the speed meta because then with the way the game is, then it becomes
hard.
Like
I just know he wants to say Arcus is what he wants to say.
But look at not even Arcus, maybe Lex.
No, that's I have him RB4. We can't ban him. He's never gonna be banned. Just took him RB4 today.
Look, you didn't even bring Arcus when you had a chance. All right, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like.
Not happening. If look at my RB roster, none of those toons are gonna be banned, except for I did take Azure and Black Flash up today. But
I warned you. I did warn you.
Well, you know what? There's still Siege, and I guess I still played it, but I don't know. I mean, again,
you won World's Finest without a Rebirth, Azrael, and Black Flash. Just saying.
Now maybe I'm gonna win more. How about that? But I think that's we did a lot of talking today. That was the Tournament of Legends was a lot of fun. I hope again, if you're listening now and you're thinking I want to join. It's free to join. And actually, M4, you won a prize. We have to get you your winnings. So the winner does get $50. So
I was gonna say, look, his prize was being on the podcast. Congratulations, the podcast that I think you have the best chance of getting on if you just asked. Like,
but there's a prize. It's free to enter. You don't need to be G11. I have rules in place for non G11 character players, and it's just it's free to entry. Do it, try it. You never know. Between
Tournament of Legends and all the 3x3 tournaments. M4 has the highest career winnings for
he does.
DCL, right? You're getting up there.
Yeah.
And also, I
Maybe.
mean, I think it's kind of obvious now that we've had M4 on for this, but also one of the things that we're trying to at least do is if you do win the Tournament of Legends, you're for sure have a guest spot on like the next
Yeah. Come
Crime
on,
Alley
talk
cast.
about it. We love
You
to
know,
pick your brains.
yeah.
The big brains that are in there. We want to
we
pick
try to
them.
always do an episode, and with the winner. We did one with Chosen, and now one with M4. What happened to Chosen in Tournament of Legends? He just didn't show up, or what?
He did not bring the. He was really trying to save Toons, and he.
I think I heard somewhere his Z became a K.
Z became a Chokin. Okay. It's like, wait, I gotta think about that one.
I heard that somewhere. I just can't remember.
You know, they always say the greats fall hard. You know?
And it was.
So,
But that was a great story with Firewings getting his revenge and everything.
Man,
I mean,
that was
the
exciting.
whole drama
Right?
of the whole tournament was outstanding.
Yeah, it was. I had like I was that quarterfinal was the one I was looking most forward to, and then when the semis hit, I was very excited to see Uncanny going against M4 because Uncanny was having like again he was the darling of the Tournament of Legends going up against M4, and it looked like Uncanny was unstoppable. But then we found out he was very much stoppable, and it was unfolded that way. But
he's just a canny dash.
Oh, did he? I didn't get to watch that. Did he have happen to him what happened to me in the first Tournament Legends where I got stuck on my last team on my first board?
2 teams he just ran into. But
his roster was pretty poorly chosen at that point.
He brought Jericho, so if that tells you anything. But
I mean, look, I like Jericho, but I wouldn't bring him to the Tournament of Legends.
Right? Exactly. Is he in your top 26 toons?
Yeah.
No.
We need the M4. You need to make a Tournament of Legends tier list.
Or we could make a Tournament of Legends tier list.
M4's Psy right now. If you found his camera on the screen, just really look at his face when he made that sigh, and you're gonna.
Make the tier list so you don't win next time. Brilliant.
No.
I think we should do a Tournament of Legends tier list.
We'll see. Because
there's been 2 of them, and
no,
I don't want any more tier lists. So
no, it's not about the best tunes. It's about managing spreading your tunes. Because you have your tier list. Let's say we have identified these are the 10 best tunes, okay? And then you decide like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make it through the first round by not bringing my best tune. So knowing those best tunes and not knowing how to spread them, and then also there's the luck factor. So what we can do is probably be more factual and statistical about it. Like these are the popular tunes have been used in the past 2 tournaments, as opposed to us ranking. Because who are we? Who are we to say that these are the best tunes? Like who made us God and say these tunes are S?
M4, I actually thought you were about to say it's not about the best tunes, it's about the best players, and then just walk away from it. Like,
you could have just stopped
drop
there.
a bomb like that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of luck involved in this, and I really commend Firewings and Uncanny Dash because I just brute force my way through this. There's very little strategy involved.
I think you're selling yourself a little bit short.
I think so as well. I really think so as well.
I bring RB5s, kill things, that's it. Move on.
And I think what's a big thing. Oh wait. Well, let me say. I think a big thing is not just saying who the best tunes. It's the best synergies with the tunes. Which tunes really mesh well together that allow you like these 4 tunes that can again go up against a wide range of comps you're going to run into. What were you going to say, Costley?
So, M4, with that prior statement you were saying though about the tier list thing, are you saying that if a group of people got together and then like made a tier list, that they would have to be like rather egotistical or something, or like is that what you're trying to say?
I am not trying to say anything.
Okay, I was wondering. Yeah.
All right,
those are opinions of 5 people. So
I think that's gonna do it for us today. Action-packed podcast, a lot of fun. Again, big thank you for Zubaz, little guest spot, purple border.
Your boy out.
Yeah, your boy.
Wait, guest spot? I thought this was an introduction of the latest
I
host,
mean,
not,
you never
not a
know.
guest
It
spot.
could be a guest spot. Could be move on. I mean, there might be 4 cameras on this. We'll see. You never know. We'll talk. We'll talk contract negotiations now have to go through. But again,
I have
thank
to talk
you.
to my agent.
Yeah, I got to talk to the agent. And again, thank you, M4, for coming on. I know I feel like you've probably been on a mic all day. You went from your stream straight to this. So again, thank you for coming on. And again, I can't say it enough. Like, I'm so impressed with your Tournament Legends run. You made it a lot of fun. You showed off a lot of really good skill. And I think just people watching how you play makes them better. It makes the whole community better. So again, congratulations for winning, M4. You did amazing.
Thanks, Josh. It means a lot coming from you. The king of Siege.
You say these things and it doesn't sound. That doesn't sound like.
It was this wholesome moment that M4 just
Like,
ran.
oh man, when someone
just
prints
wanna
out the
say-
transcripts, they're like, "Oh, M4, he's so nice." Like,
I just want to say, M4, now because it's your second time on the podcast, you have exactly half of the guest appearances on this podcast.
Yeah.
There's only ever been 4, and you 2 of them.
Yeah,
So
there
Wow, that makes me feel really special.
but
There it is.
It's really tough.
so let's
never know if he's being serious.
Let's
Alright,
call it. Let's call it there again. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you for watching. Comment below where M4's camera is. If you found it, I'd love to hear where it is. So look at that. But that'll do it for us. And again, thank you guys for being here, and we'll pump out another podcast soon.
Yeah, hopefully we need to get on top of that.
Yeah. All right.
And all the extra stuff we promised forever ago.
Yeah, all those things. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good one out there. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching the Crime Alley Cast. Make sure to hit the like button and tell us what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to never miss a future episode. If you want to listen to us on the go, then check out the audio version available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Podbean. You can also catch me and these other 2 ding-dongs live streaming on Twitch, so make sure to come by and say hi. Links will be in the description below.